My name is Carol Stokes, and my guest today is author Dr. Rick Jarow. He is the author of Creating the Work You Love, a richly experiential guide how to answer your life's calling instead of settling for a job. I love being here with you today. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you. Thanks, Carol.
In one of your latest books, The Alchemy of Abundance, you said that all your work focuses on interfacing inner intuitive experience with effective action in the world. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
There are times when people focus on what I do, and there are times when people focus on who I am. And what I like to do is put those things together so that who you are becomes what you do. Unfortunately, for too many people, the feeling is what they do in the world has nothing to do with who they are. So then it becomes a job that I have to do, and then I go home and I try to have fun. But I have so much stress from being at work that all I can do when I go home is de-stress. So the goal here, the interface, is to try to have our lives make some sense, that our work is connected to who we are. Who we are is part of our work. They don't have to be identical, but my inner being and my outer being are in relationship.
How can I and your viewing audience sort of bring that to be? How can I do that?
Well, the first real step is you have to become indignant. You know, you have to get to the point where you realize that I didn't get born to be a wage slave.
Right. Right.
You know, and we have created a nation of wage slaves, except for a few entrepreneurs, and perhaps who are, you know, playing Monopoly on a large scale. And you have to get indignant enough to step out of that and ask the questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What am I meant to do with my life? Instead of just kind of walking around. You know, in India, they always talk about when you get your degree, the gurus always say, oh, now you have your begging bowl. You know, and that's basically what it's become. So we want to get out of the idea that we are a subservient to this monolithic thing called the market, that we have no control, that we have no power. We want to say, if I make my decision about who I am, I can have more leverage over what I do. Client of mine, and his job was he was a hand model.
Okay,
a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But then he had to make a decision at one point because about half of his work was cigarette commercials. And he finally had to say, is this what I want to do with my life? Do I want to support cigarettes? But if I don't, will I still have a job? And it was like a moral decision. He said, no, I don't want to do cigarettes.
What did he do?
He stopped doing cigarettes. He got twice as much. The work just started coming in because he made that decision, opened up a space for him.
Would you say he was lucky?
No.
How did...
I would say he was aligned. And alignment is when you're in your right place at your right time. Some people call it luck. But my teacher said, Hilda Charlton, who's over there in the picture, she said, there's a place that needs you, and there's a place where you need to be. Can you see those places coming together? That's more than luck.
Probably very few people can see that place coming together. What would be some of your recommendations for opening up the others who want to be in that place?
Well, the most important thing is you have to want to do it. You have to want, if you're happy working 9 to 5 and playing tennis and going home, then okay. But if there's something in you that says, no, this is not enough, like what was I born for? Like you have to move to that direction. And that's, in the Buddhist tradition, they call that the awakening of the bodhicitta, which we might call the awakening of faith. And it really is a question of faith. It's a faith that I was born to do more than this. You have to touch that place.
New York City, still live here, and I'm a musician and a writer and performer. When I first decided to play music to make a living, I had a part-time job. I was on my way to work on the subway crossing the Brooklyn Bridge or the Manhattan Bridge, and I thought, man, if this train goes into the water and I drop dead on my way to work that I don't like, that's going to be a tragedy. So I decided to start playing the accordion in the subway. The next day I quit my job and told them that I was moving to Brazil and just started playing. Every morning I would wake up, grab my accordion, go down to the train, and it was so much fun. I enjoyed it so much. And as soon as that decision was made, it seemed like things just started to fall into place. I think that yes, it is definitely possible, and it takes just a willingness to really believe in what you feel and trust yourself. And I was lucky because I was raised by a musician, and my mother always told me this, that jump and the net will appear, and that is sometimes easy to forget, and even through my life I've had to remind myself of that, but it's usually the case. And if you're following what you really want to do, what's inside your heart, and you just keep right on that, usually something's going to come in just when you need it to happen. It's an amazing